The 1947 UFO incident in Roswell, New Mexico has become one of the most infamous cases of all time. Is it fact or fiction? Decide for yourself as Paranormal TV goes back more than a decade to tell the classic story of the 50th anniversary of the Roswell incident. After a rancher brought pieces of the wreckage to the Roswell Army Air Base, an official press release stated that it was a flying saucer. Within hours, however, the story was changed. The public was told a mistake had been made, and the crashed object was nothing more than a weather balloon. Despite testimony and many reliable witnesses that have since come forward, the official stand today is still that it was a military weather balloon. Don Schmidt, author of UFO Crash at Roswell, has painstakingly researched every angle of the Roswell story, including the notion that the military misidentified a weather balloon as a UFO.
The first press release that it was a flying saucer, and 6 hours later, we're sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's no threat. There's nothing to be up in arms about. It's just a radar reflector device, constructed of foil, balsa wood, and baling twine. Now, even the rancher would have recognized the baling twine, certainly, and the rest of the material very conventional. And the very idea that the rancher, the sheriff, the deputies, the intelligence officer, the base commander, the counterintelligence officers, the engineers at Roswell, nobody could identify foil, sticks, and baling twine until General Rainey examines the material, and it's just a weather balloon. The question is, which press release is the true story? We have over 500 witnesses testifying through sworn affidavit or video deposition that what was recovered out here at this site and at the debris field site just 40 miles from here was not manufactured on this earth.
Bob Shirkey is one of those witnesses. As an Army pilot stationed at Roswell, he got a close look at some of the recovered material that was loaded onto the plane. He remembers the report that it was a flying saucer.
The very next day, there was a recant from 8th Air Force saying that it was a weather balloon that was found and not an unknown object. All I can say to that is that we had weather balloons in base operations because the weather station was there also. And I would see them carry a balloon out, blow it up, and send it on its way with a radio sound and so forth. And what was brought through the hangar, through the building and loaded on the airplane was not the same material.
One important figure to express skepticism over the continuing balloon story is Congressman Stephen Schiff of New Mexico. His office has initiated its own investigation into the case. He believes that official documents relating to Roswell exist.
Can you imagine probably the best bomber group in the Army Air Corps saying that a weather balloon was a flying saucer? That would have been quite an embarrassment, and there should be some documentation of that going back and forth in Air Force, then Army Air Corps channels about how could this happen? You know, how could we make such fools out of ourselves if that is in fact what occurred? And I've asked the General Accounting Office to look for that documentation. I've also suggested they look at something else. There seems to be no doubt that these materials, when picked up, don't seem to have been treated like they were parts of a weather balloon. In other words, it seems to be uncontradicted that these materials were flown out of New Mexico under armed guard by military police. Now, weather balloons are not normally shipped under armed guard, so I've also suggested they look for the records as to who issued instructions suggesting that these materials be guarded at gunpoint. That is not how you'd normally see a weather balloon transported.